Okay, welcome back to that time I got Reincarnated as a Slime anime review, episode number 9. This one discussing episodes 20 and 24, 24.5, and the first two um, OS OAD, which I think is like, what does it stand for? Doesn't really say exactly what it stands for. Basically, it's an OVA. That's simply put what it is. Yep, it's an OVA. There are 5 of them, and the last 3 are basically 3-part. I haven't got to them yet. So, basically, 21 and 23 do adapt from book 4, except they continue doing the weird stuff where they adapt from the second half of the book, going from chapters 5 through 7 and the epilogue. Probably about halfway through the epilogue here. So we pick up where we left off last time from 20. Where basically Rimuru is teaching Shizu's students. And basically after, introduce themselves, they go outside to basically test their power. And of course, basically Rimuru's got a soft spot for Chloe, basically that she has potential and, ever tests all their abilities. And of course, they all respect him as teacher after that. So, in order to solve the problem with the whole thing of, because basically the way it's explained in this series, when people get isekai, they only can live in the world for 5 years, and they die. So, Reimu comes with an ingenious idea. Get them all spirits like Shizu. So, we have these following characters get these particular spirits. Now, Alice, wonderful girl she is, she gets a particular spirit. Let's see if I can find it here. I mean, they get the spirits in episode 22. Yeah. Now, they also introduced a new character, Rimris. Yes, who is basically a fairy. She was the queen of the spirits, now she's Demon Lord. She is voiced by Jad Saxton. Yep, awesome to hear her voice. Yep. And then by 23, we pretty much get, after beat the golem, they get new spirits. Yep. Kenya gets the Spirit of Light. Yeah. We have Chloe getting a spirit, so of a negative one. And pretty much everybody gets spirits per se. It's one's it's earth spirit, a water spirit, a fire. Not a fire spirit per se, but everybody gets basically spirits. And then pretty much with that, they pretty much save the kids. So Reimu basically has his job finished. So basically, he has nothing else to do for them. So he basically kind of resigns as teacher after basically saving them with spirits. He gives them all new robes. He gives Chloe Shizu's mask. Excuse me. And I don't know if he actually gets it back or not, because I haven't read for the book 4. So he proceeds to go home. And he's followed by the anime debut of the character known as Hinata Shiguchi. Yep. Yeah, that's who pretty much follows him. And she does return the next season. Don't worry about that, because, he ends up fighting her in the book. Episode 24, even though it's a complete emergent episode, but here's the neat thing about it. The episode 24, the final episode of season 1, is written by the writer of the light novels. Yes. This is actually the second time I've seen this, where you have the writer of the original light novels, the source material for an anime, and they write an episode for the show. Now, as far as I can tell for a lot of other light novel series I've watched, this has only happened one other time. You want to know what time that was? High School DxD. Yep. Except he wrote the first 3 out of 4 OVAs. The fourth one was an adaptation of one of the stories, I think of like book 10, I think it was. Actually, it was book 8. Mostly put this episode, the final episode is this. It's focused on Shizu. Rimmer is in the episode, but he's basically narrating the episode. It's a Shizu episode, so she is hired to deal with the episode starts off with basically two people, basically on the first episode, they summon a demon, aka Diablo. Diablo did technically appear toward the end of episode 23. This is the full story, basically exploring him. So he's summoned to deal with them, per se. What it is, not explained in the episode. So, with this episode here, I hope I'm not there. Yes. Yeah, by the way, there's actually a character in this episode who's actually voiced by, of all people, Johnny Bosch. Yes. Johnny Bosch is in the episode. Also, Patrick Stoltz is in here as the King of Fitwood. Yep. Yes, he is. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, as far as I can tell, they don't really give an explanation of who these characters. As a matter of fact, the adventurers in this episode, with the exception of like one, all apparently get killed off screen after basically like, oh, we got adventures in the room. One tries to leave, but it turns out he was just by a demon because the guy here because he was a summoned demon who turns out to be the king. And of course, E3 gets a chance to fight him, but actually first before that, where you have Shizu fighting Diablo and chopping his arm, but he's apparently got his arm back in present day. Then of course he ends up basically killing off the 2 people who actually were supporting the fake king, which was the minister and the king of the country, who was a short guy. Yeah, they get killed off pretty easily. And of course, well, even though that Shizu was victor, Diablo is basically given the credit for killing the king and the minister. As for the only other character, of course, voiced by Johnny Bosch, I know because I heard his voice. He goes off, and I don't think he's seen again after that. Not that I can think of, no. But in the case, what happens next? Now, there's a clip show, basically known as Dwarf Diary. Yeah, it's referred to as Tales, Dwarf Diary. Mostly put for this one, it's a clip show with new footage. And unlike other clip shows, this one was actually dubbed. And you might be asking, Nick, has there been a clip show you have watched that was dubbed? The answer is yes. One, of Freya. Yes, because that actually had, despite the fact the whole episode was essentially a clip show, the last 5 minutes is the only new footage they actually had, which introduced the character of Shia, voiced by Amanda Lee, who does an amazing job voicing the character. Yeah, only a second time I've seen this where you have one of these point episodes, like 0.5 episodes, where it's actually dubbed. The reason why, because Valdor is talking with A-Freak the whole episode, narrating a lot of the stuff that's happened over the course of the season. And they do this while playing shogi, which is so nice. The fact over the course of time they're playing shogi, of course they got better. It's a very good clip show. But I love the fact he's to narrate the whole season, which is really cool. And that technically was the last thing officially aired for the season until they aired the 3 OVAs for the series. Yep. The very first OVA is called Hey Butts. No, I'm not kidding. That's seriously the name. By the way, Meme is in the episode. This is probably set when she was still in the village during events of the stuff that was added from book 3 from the series. So, we need something fun to do. Sumo wrestling. Yep. And one of the orcs basically puts an outfit, and it's like, oh, he's a Yokozuna! Just because he basically fits the attire. And here's the thing. There was a prize. Remember, we knew nothing about this all. So, the guys voted on a prize, And the girls voted on a prize. Okay, the girls' prize. Spend a day with Rimuru. I was like, okay, what's the guy's prize? The guy's prize is basically the kaiju princess, Shuna. Gets to use Shuna's lap as a pillow. Yes, seriously. And of course, the funny thing of Benimaru defeating like 5 people just so no one can use his sister's lap as a pillow, which I found to be so hilarious. And the first match is simply for the women's match is simply Shion versus Shuna, which kind of has it where Shuna basically runs away, but Shuna is declared the victor. As for the Demon Lord herself, well, she participates, but she is disqualified due to indecency. Yes, it was a real bad indecency, which I found to be so hilarious. And then they had the final match, where it is butt wrestling. Yes, you have to basically push each other's butts. Yes, seriously. And this apparently became a popular sport in Rimuru for some reason. I don't know why. Of course, the contest is actually clear draw, and both of them basically get Rimuru as spend a day with him. As for who won for the guys, they don't really say it all. By the way, what's his name? The guy is voiced by Ian Sinclair. Shui, he actually surprisingly does not participate. He does put on the outfit per se for sumo wrestling, but he does an official for the women's sumo wrestling, which is so funny. The fact that, let's have the women all stripped down, nearly naked, because remember points out though. But this was a fun episode. It's a good fan service episode. But we got a lot more fan service next OVA, which is called The Tragedy of M. Yes, seriously. So we have where Shuna and Shion are basically still pulling a Rimuru. So they vote, okay, we need something alternate. Let's make beanbags. Yes, beanbags. So make up spandex and get the material for the inside. So they come up with the ingenious idea to go to a lake, have a picnic, and swim. And they have lunch, and Shion, of course, cooks something. That was really bad. And this ties into what happens here. So then we have the girls put on swimsuits, which I found to be so hilarious. Look up the dwarfs basically swimsuit. Of course, Shion herself has got the best swimsuit. Shuna has got the cute one. We actually have one of the goblins. Yes, one of the female goblins here. Which you're thinking, really? One of the goblins is here? Yes, well, one of the hobgoblins, actually. I think her name is Haruna. Yes, she actually pops up for this OVA, which I found to be interesting. Heck, even Regard. And apparently the guys had to pose too, and of course, Miriam decided just to show up. Just all of a sudden, it's probably just after she left. And, okay, so change to simply take off, basically, according to the Great Sage, she just changed the material for her bottom part of her attire and her top covering her chest. So they go swimming until tentacles show up, and you're thinking, tentacles? Do they end up ripping the girls' swimsuits? They shred them, of course, and it turns out the reason why that this thing is like this, basically like a seashell, because of Shion's cooking. Yep, and they get the sub material they need, and they make the beanbags. But of course, Shauna and Shion are still pulling a Rimuru, which they say, oh yeah, they'll trust the beanbags, no problem. Benimaru basically happily helps out with this because something for his sister, when he tells him the exact reason for getting the material for the beanbags. He actually is very cooperative. Heck, even the master, the instructor, goes along because why not? Bring along the old man. Basically, they had them go swimming. Though Riga basically puts on a suit too. You described Riga's suit as cute. Okay, but yeah, I thought it was interesting that the Haruna got a chance to actually. Haruna was one of the goblins. She's occasionally popped up throughout the season. This is the first time she actually took part in the story because she's only popped up 2 or 3 times over the course of season 1. Yep. But yeah, these 2 OVAs were pretty fun. I love the swimsuit thing because why not? Why not deal with swimsuit one? And here's something though. Here's a rarity for these anime. The OVAs or OAD were dubbed. Yep, they were dubbed. And you're thinking, really? They were dubbed? Oh yeah, they were. Which I thought was quite interesting. I did not expect to do that. Yeah, it's kind of weird. The fact that the ODA were in fact dubbed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, pretty fun. Interesting though the fact that Funimation actually dubbed these. Okay, yeah. So that's gonna be pretty much it for this particular review. Stay tuned later on for my review for, well, if I get time to do it. I might get time to do a review for Freya, Shaman King, and the OVA for Miss Kobash's Dragon Man. Okay, next video. Bye.